I am the Raven, witness to forgotten screams and unanswered prayers. I've seen emperors fall, but I've also seen what was never meant to be remembered. Beneath the golden Rome, everyone admires. There's another Rome, a Rome of bones, echoes, bend, shadows. Tonight, I'll take you into its depths, where even light fears to tread. The year was 897. Rome was a city strangled by corruption, betrayal, and unholy power plays. Pope Formosus, already dead for months, should have been at peace, buried in sacred soil. But in Rome, even the dead are not safe. Driven by paranoia and power, Pope Stephen VI gave an order that echoed like blasphemy through the Vatican walls. At St. John Lateran's Basilica, by torchlight, the corpse of Formosus was exhumed, dressed in papal robes, propped up on a golden throne, flesh peeling, bones cracked, a lifeless figure, awaiting judgment. Yes, they put a dead man on trial. But I saw more. With him came something else, something no priest could see, something ... ancient. The shadows twisted, columns breathed, and in the silence, the old ones stirred. Soon after, chaos swallowed Rome. The Tiber flooded, drowning entire neighborhoods. A strange plague crept through alleys, taking the innocent first, and Pope Stephen VI was found strangled by his own guards in a cold, silent cell. Every death, every scream, every cursed echo. I saw it all, unwhispered through the storm. One name returned again and again. Formosus, his soul never rested. It lingered in the river's reflection, in the eyes of the dying, in the shadows beneath shuttered bells. Rome bears the scar, even now. Think, traveler, if even the dead can be judged by human hands, what stops them from judging us? I saw it, and now, so have you. I am the Raven, witness to forgotten screams and unanswered prayers. I've seen emperors fall, but I've also seen what was never meant to be remembered. Beneath the golden Rome, everyone admires. There's another Rome, a Rome of bones, echoes, and shadows. Tonight, I'll take you into its depths, where even light fears to tread. In the early centuries after Christ, Rome was alive with both life, and death. Christians were hunted relentlessly, forbidden from burying their dead in public, so they dug, carving narrow tunnels beneath the earth, creating secret chambers in the dark, the catacombs. But they weren't just graves. They were sacred shelters, stone wombs where faith was kept alive in hiding. The walls were etched with subtle symbols, a fish, a dove, and anchor signs of a belief growing beneath the empire. But alongside prayers, other things were buried too. Things even martyrs feared to name. One cold dawn, A young deacon named Marcus was tasked with carrying the remains of a martyr into the crypts of St. Calixtus. He went alone, his only light a trembling oil lamp. The darkness felt thick, alive. Every step echoed with unseen whispers. The deeper he went, the more he felt eyes on him. The stones seemed to whisper in a language long dead. He knelt to place the relics, and then he heard it, a whisper, then another. Not Latin, not anything human. He lifted the lamp though. Flame flickered, and something touched his shoulder. Marcus fled, leaving behind the bones and his sanity. That section was sealed. No one ever returned. Time passed. Pagan Rome collapsed. Christian Rome rose. But the catacombs remained, still used, still sacred. Popes, bishops, saints, even outcast emperors were laid to rest there. Beneath the familiar tunnels, deeper levels exist, hidden chambers, places not shown on any map. There, the earliest Christians built strange altars, not for worship, but for protection. Protection from things even faith could not overcome. I've seen those altars. I've seen markings older than stone itself. I've seen symbols that don't belong to any scripture written by man. And I've heard the voices, still, whispering. In 1923, an archaeologist named Pietro Lamberti was granted special access by the Vatican to explore the deeper sectors of the Priscilla Catacombs. Driven by ambition, he ignored every warning. He broke through collapsed tunnels, unsealed forgotten doors, and found a hidden circular chamber. His journal, discovered later, describes a room lined with bone sand, a black, cracked well at the center. His final entry read, "I looked into the well and saw eyes staring back." Pietro vanished. His team searched. 2 assistants were later found, faces frozen in unspeakable terror. The Vatican sealed the area, but to still hear prayers whispered from that direction. Are they prayers or warnings? Since then, anyone who dared to enter those sealed sections spoke of hooded figures watching from the shadows, voices calling their names, cold hands brushing their skin. Some never came back, others returned, but never spoke again. And in the silence of Rome's darkest nights, you can still hear it. The distorted chants, the cries of souls who never found rest. Beneath Rome, time doesn't die. It rots, it sings, it waits for new souls. And I've seen them, eyes in the darkness, watching from forgotten pits. I've seen the doors, doors that should never be opened. And now, you'll see them too. I'm the raven, the one who soars over what has been forgotten, hidden, buried. I've witnessed the walls built to safeguard belief, and I have seen the horrors those walls sought to confine. Today, I will lead you into the depths of the world's best-kept secret, the Vatican Secret Archives. The birth of silence at the heart of Vatican City. Beyond the curious gaze of ordinary men lies a fortress unlike any other. The Archivum Secretum Apostolicum, Vaticanum, formally established in 1612 B. Pope Paul V. The secret archives house documents dating back over 12 centuries, papal bulls, imperial correspondence, ancient treaties, ... but not all the documents relate to power or diplomacy. No, some, ... speak of things that defy human reason itself. I, the Raven, have seen these scrolls with my eyes wide open and feathers on end. I beheld what should never have been written. The iron gate, the main entrance to the archives, is secured by iron doors, guarded by silent sentinels and cameras that never blink. Few are authorized to cross that threshold. The Pope, a select few cardinals, and carefully chosen scholars, monitored at every step. Yet there's another entry, a hidden door deep below, locked with 7 ancient keys made of metals that no longer exist on the Earth's surface. This portal leads to a section that no historian, however powerful, has ever set foot in. I, the Raven, glided through those shadows while the world slumbered. What I saw there changed even my dark soul. The forbidden manuscript. Among the concealed documents is a manuscript known only by its title, De Occulta Ecclesia, the Hidden Church, written in a dead language, blending Latin, Aramaic, and fragments of unknown alphabets. It narrates what could be the true origin of the powers that safeguarded Rome, and the dire price they exacted. It speaks of ancient pacts sealed with the blood of martyrs and inverted blessings. It discusses fallen Anglesnot as foes, but as secret guardians trapped beneath the altars. It details forbidden rituals that, according to the manuscript, keep closed the doors that should never be opened. And I, the Raven, saw something more. The manuscript remains active from time to time. High-ranking church members descend into the forbidden halls to reinforce these ancient agreements. The night vigils don't think the rituals I speak of are forgotten legends, tales meant to frighten novices. No, they still take place on specific nights, just before dates erased from common calendarsty corridors of the archives echo with footsteps that are not human. I, the Raven, have seen cardinals in black robes, adorned with stoles, not embroidered in gold, but in symbols forgotten by time. I watched them form circles around small, sealed reliquaries. I heard them utter words that would sear the flesh of any mortal who dared to listen without proper protection. And I also witnessed what they keep sealed, the unnamed prisons beneath the Vatican library, within chambers carved long before Rome itself was founded, lie the unnamed prisons. These are not ordinary cells. They do not hold criminals or heretics. They contain presences, ESSENCES, beings that have not died but are forbidden to exist freely among the living. Rumors abound that within the walls, the spirit of Simon Magus, the first heretic to attempt to purchase the power of the Holy Spirit, remains imprisoned. Others speak of even older creatures, entities trapped long before the Christian era, used in rituals that ensured the Church's survival through centuries of persecution war, and plague. These beings are not dead. They wait, and their invisible eyes track every movement of anyone dare to venture past their chambers. The error that was never corrected, known 1971. During a restoration of the lower sectors of the archives, 3 assistant librarians vanished. Their supervisor reported they had been sent to organize ancient manuscripts of Italian noble families, but they never returned. Searches were conducted, but when the rescue team got close to the area known as Sion Negra, the black section, a foul odor filled the air. The most sensitive among them fainted. The expedition leader reported hearing sounds of children crying, prayers in dead languages, and a sense of weight on souls so intense that they could barely breathe. The Vatican quickly suppressed the matter, and the section was sealed, not with concrete or ordinary bricks, but with sacred relics, fragments of the true cross, bones of sainted martyrs, exorcism scrolls, and yet, at night, something continues to pound on the other side of the wall. The keys of forgetting the secret documents lies a map invisible to common human eyes. It marks the locations where keys have been hidden. These keys, it is said, do not open doors. They erase memories. They wipe away facts. They obliterate entire existences from the annals of human history. I, the Raven, have seen one of these keys. It was not made of metal, but of petrified flesh, resembling the finger of a dead angel. And I heard the voice that whispered from nothingness, "Whoever touches the key will be forgotten." And those who dared to use them, they vanished from history. Have you ever wondered how many kingdoms, how many civilizations disappeared without a trace? Now you know. The silenced testimony: there was a man, a Jesuit monk, named Father Lorenzo, who tried to reveal part of what he had seen. He wrote coded letters to colleagues in Germany and France, detailing visions of rituals, wandering shadows by the corridors, and whispers that promised eternal knowledge, be at a terrible price. But before he could send the final scroll, Lorenzo went mad. He was found in the cloister of St. Peter's Basilica, muttering nonsensical words and with his gaze turned inward to this day. His name does not appear in the Vatican's official records. He was literally erased, as if he had never existed. And I, the Raven, saw his shadow attempting to scream between the walls. On a night when the wind seemed to carry wails, the final secret within the archives, protected by dozens of magical and spiritual seals, lies the book that must not be named. A compendium of ancient prophecies, not those of glory or redemption, but prophecies of downfall, decay, and spiritual devouring. It speaks of the day when the prisons beneath the Vatican will break open, when the forgotten entities will emerge to reclaim what has been stolen from them, the world of men. And when that happens, neither angels nor saints will be able to stop it. Only the Raven, will observe, just as it always has, just as it does now, just as it does while you listen to these words. they are still there, waiting, waiting for someone to touch what must not be touched. And you, would you be able to resist? I am the Raven, witness to the centuries, the one who saw the birth of Rome, and watched the blood stain the sands of its greatest monument. However, what few know is that beneath the ruins of the Colosseum, something still breathes, something that should have never been summoned. The cradle of violence, the Colosseum, the ultimate symbol of the Roman Empire, a venue for spectacles, glory, and death, constructed through the sweat of thousands of slaves, bathed in the blood of martyrs, gladiators, and the innocent. Over 500,000 souls perished there, in a silent sacrifice to the hungry shadows lurking beneath the stands. But there was something even worse, something that even emperors dared not speak of, the forgotten pact during the grand inaugurations of the Colosseum under Emperor Titus. A hidden ceremony took place deep within the amphitheater's foundations. This wasn't just a simple blessing, it was a pact Etruscan sorcerers, survivors of forbidden cults, conjured something in the freshly excavated catacombs. They invoked a primal force, an ancient being that promised eternal victories, an endless glory for Rome. In exchange for blood, a copious amount, but the creature that answered their call was not a pagan god. It was a fallen angel, with wings as dark as a moonless night, eyes glowing red like smothered embers, with an insatiable hunger for pain and worship. The hidden battle, however, the cost was steep. The entity demanded not only gladiators and the condemned, but also the conjurers themselves. In a frenzy of horror, the newly erected walls absorbed the flesh and spirit of the priests, sealing them forever beneath the arena. And the fallen angel was buried alive, bound by chains forged from martyr bones, by and blood spells. Those chains remain hidden beneath the cracked stones, chains that tremble whenever the Colosseum is touched by curious crowds. I, the Raven, witnessed it. I heard the chains straining. I saw the sand, which now resembles dust, shifting as if something down below still struggles. The games as rituals, each performance in the Colosseum was not merely entertainment. It was a ritual of containment. Every death, every tear, every last gasp of the dying fueled the seal. It kept the prisoner subdued. But when Rome fell, when the games ceased, the fallen awoke, hungry but weak. Without fresh blood, it could not break free of its bindings, and so it fell asleep once more, in agony, in fury, waiting the return of the tourists today. Tourists wander through the Colosseum without a care. They snap photos, smile, oblivious to what lurks beneath their feet. But the weight of forgetfulness is perilous, for the fallen angel can feel. It senses the absence of fear. It senses indifference, and that nourishes its silent rage. The whisper in the Catacombs' silent guardians, anonymous monks descended from the first martyrs, still hold secret vigils in the forbidden underbelly. They pray, they weep, they renew the incantations with what little faith remains. For they know that if one day the Colosseum crumbles, if the structure is destroyed, or if the faith of the souls who visit it flickers out, the chains will break, and the angel, forgotten even by the gods, will walk the earth once more. The final cry the raven have seen. I saw the crack in the stones. I saw the dust rise like an ancient sigh, and I heard the voice of the prisoner, as old as the fall of the first rebel. You have forgotten me. Now I will remind you of what true terror is. If you ever visit the Colosseum and hear a dull thud beneath your feet, do not stop to listen. Run. For the prisoner dreams, and his dream is our ruin.